Hello, this is Dan Prey recording for AEP 858 Module 14, taking you through the text today as we look at the keys to understanding the CFIP. We are looking at using real and current data, it's being specific to our grade level, working with teachers that is addressing individual needs. We're not looking at just one data source, making sure that we're putting them in our daily lesson plans. We're also providing enrichment and interventions that can be adjusted day to day. And the one that I like the best is the value of the input of the teachers is the most important in this decision making. Something that we naturally kind of think about and naturally that we do, I would say, as teachers, is kind of following this protocol, but getting it down on paper is a good idea, and making sure that we're all on the same page and just having that ability to look at data. If we're talking about the achievement gap, I had been thinking about the achievement gap as one way, in the text that we read kind of pointed me to something else. But when I think about the achievement gap, I simply think of the gap between our low babies and our high babies and trying to close that gap. Our initiative in USD 323 has been Kagan Cooperative Learning. Through the research that they have done, has shown that through Kagan, done properly, closes the achievement gap. And continually they talk about closing that achievement gap. This has been our second year of this Kagan initiative, and I feel that it's going pretty well. The teachers are getting on the same page, K through 12. The high school teachers aren't as eager to jump on board. They still feel like direct instruction is the best way, and note-taking. The text points to the achievement gap as being a socioeconomic and primarily Black and Hispanic gap. So if you're Black or if you're Hispanic, you are going to be lower than if you're a white student. So I thought that was very interesting. And then it talks about the programs such as Head Start being able to close that gap because students will be prepared. I also thought it was interesting when we're talking about pediatricians buying into and getting a book. I feel like that's one thing I do very well with my daughter, is that I introduce books to her and read. Probably the most that I do is invest in her reading compared to any of the other skills, whether it's athletics or art or any of those. I feel like reading is something that I do quite a bit. And I didn't make the connection until now that the pediatricians are giving those books. So every time I go to the pediatrician with my 4-year-old, I get another book, which is excellent. And then I feel there's some bias about our last article and what went wrong with the poverty gap, and kind of people bringing in things they probably shouldn't. So I did not read a lot into the last article because I didn't feel it pertained to facts. I feel that it was quite biased and opinionated. So I dismissed that article and didn't put a lot of stock into it. But as far as what I would be doing to develop a data culture and use data to inform instruction, USD 323 currently has a Fast Bridge data collection center that it's all right on our website. I would show you what it looks like, but I don't want to get any names up. But it's very nice, and it's all right there in one spot. It's very easy to read, and there's a lot of different choices when we're looking at the screeners. So I've been very impressed with that. Now, what I do with that information, we're not there yet. I think there's still some time to figure out what we're going to do with this information. It was the first time we did the test, so not all the teachers are on board yet, but it was very nice. There is on track, there is above grade level, kind of college and career ready, some risk and high risk, and we're looking at those ones that have the exclamation points. So it gives you lots of places to start, and even if you don't know what you're looking at, you know that an exclamation point is bad. And that's how I would present the information to my teachers in a staff meeting. I think just pointing them to one or two of those, you can either do the snapshot of the students, or you can do as a grade level, you can show the overall raw scores for reading, math. And then how would I develop a data culture in my school or district? I think it starts with just me right off the bat discussing about data and culture. The last class I took was about technology and how could I get that in my classes. As a principal, it just has to be a focus point. As a future administrator, the importance of data and getting my teachers to buy into this data that we're looking at is important. The reason that we give these assessments are not just to give them a test. We're actually using this information so we can drive instruction, getting teachers to buy into that. And I really like the trust factor of this. As a principal, I need to have the trust of my staff, and they need to trust each other. So what can I do to first gain that trust, and then second, keep that trust? So I thought that was a very good point when I was reading through this. And then we would take that and run with it. And once the teachers bought in, now we're looking at the data, now we're implementing the data, we're watching for changes in the instruction, we're watching for kids, and do we need to modify it today, do we need to modify it tomorrow, and let them grow and let them push and let them go. And having great conversations with our special ed department, our title teachers and all that. In fact, I had one today that was absolutely fabulous in filling in gaps of one of my students. So I hope you found this helpful, and thank you for watching.